So tonight let's take a photo of the Orion nebula. It's up there. We will use an untracked mount for this. I'm using the Evo Guide, my deepsky camera and an untracked mount, but you can simply use your DSLR as well and a smaller sensor camera if you wish. So first thing we're going to do is focus the camera. We're going to do it by turning the focuser. Your focuser could look different, but basically it could be a rack and pinion, not like this one. I'm going to turn the focuser till the stars are the smallest size you can get, and basically this is in focus at the moment. Okay, so now I'm using SharpCap Pro. If you haven't wondered what it is, as far as settings, at the moment it is 800 milliseconds and the highest gain possible, so when the image is on the screen we will see it. Offset, set it to 10 or 11. Okay, and those are the settings basically. Press adjust, so it will auto balance the color. And now I'm going to do the dark frames. In SharpCap, go to capture and capture dark and select 20 dark frames. Should be good. Tick this box so when they are ready they will be added. And now you may ask how I'm gonna do dark frames. It's simple. If the telescope camera connected, take the cap and cover it. And now press start. And what it's going to do, it's going to take a bunch of frames, and the frames need to be the ones you are going to use. In this case I'm using these settings. If you are using longer exposures, they need to be the ones you are going to use. Okay, they are ready. Now it's averaging the frames, and it will add them here. And when we are live stacking, they will be added to the stack, and this will help reduce noise. And now we will use the push to assistant to find the Orion nebula, so we'll know where to point the telescope. And this will help us, because right now it's not on the screen. Okay, we are 10 degrees off. So I'm going to adjust till it's on the screen. That's the wrong way, as you can see. It takes some practice, so as you can see it's on the screen, I can see it already. Okay, so now we're pretty centered, as you can see 0.2 degrees. Okay, so now as you can see there are a lot of satellites passing by. So now I'm going to center Orion as much as possible, and basically we're going to take 1 second frames with pretty high gain and recenter as needed. Every few frames we have to readjust since we're not using a tracking mount. I think 1 second is the most we can get without trailing. Let me check. Yes, 1 second is the limit because they are already trailing. I'm going to reduce the gain to 520. Let me see. Okay, so now start the stack. For now, don't take any of these. Press this satellite button down here to align the RGB channels, and basically you have to keep readjusting this. So during the exposures, the black level needs to be before the histogram. The histogram is this peak here. The black level needs to be somewhere around here, and this, the more you pull it, the more details you will get out, but you will get a lot of noise as well. And as you can see, what is starting to happen already, is that black edge is getting bigger and bigger. That is because we are not using a tracking mount, so we have to readjust every, I would say every 30 seconds. You have to readjust. If you don't readjust, it will go out of frame and you won't get a good result. And you have to crop a lot, so expect to crop a lot when you do this kind of work, because this is untracked astrophotography. That's what it's about. Unfortunately, you're not tracking the sky, and it's very difficult. But as you can see, it's pretty good. There's a lot of details. Even at 1 second, the stars are trailing a bit, but that's not horrible. And basically, we're not using a filter. If you turn this on, if there's a star trace, it will reject the frame. So I put that now. But to get started, like dip your toes into astrophotography, you can do this. Like you can do this with the DSLR as well, but DSLR, you have to stack the photos later. So, and an astronomy camera is much more efficient because even the noise is much lower as well. As you can see, I don't have any tracking here plugged in. It's just how I set it up. And basically you have to keep readjusting this every few frames. There's no way around this, obviously. And the more zoomed in you are, the more frustrating it is. In this case, it's not very frustrating because I have a fairly wide sensor and I don't have to readjust that often. And leave it to stabilize a bit when you do the recentering, and press resume, and it continues stacking. And every few frames, you have to adjust this histogram to bring more details out. As you can see, it's getting a lot brighter, the image. And you will notice, especially with astronomy cameras, you will notice that the image gets a bit greenish. So you have to readjust the colors every once in a while. The stars are trailing a bit, to be honest. It's very. I wanted to do this video to make a tutorial, but to show you why a star tracker is the way to go in astrophotography. So it's all good doing it this way, but it will get very frustrating really quick. But it's fun, you know. It's fun to know that you can do this. And as far as the telescope, don't think you need to use a very expensive telescope. Even an achromat will work for this. Like you got a cheap achromat lying around, and maybe you want to dip your toes into astrophotography. And trying this, you can try it. Don't worry. You will have chromatic aberration, but that's fine. You know, you're just starting out in the hobby. Doesn't need to be perfect. So don't give up. Is what I'm trying to say. Because everybody starts somewhere. And pause again. We have to readjust. Okay, something like that. And as you can see, there are faint nebulosity details already coming out. This is where astronomy camera really starts to shine, because astronomy camera is more sensitive, so it will get more details than a DSLR. To be honest, I think I should have gone for a less of an exposure because the stars are trailing. I should have went for half a second maybe. As you can see, we are at 7 minutes, 541 images. Imagine doing this with the DSLR. That's why an astronomy camera is better as well. Because with the DSLR, you will wear out the shutter release, the shutter early, because of the nature of the camera. An astronomy camera that doesn't have a rolling shutter, so you won't wear it out. I'm going to pause the stack here because it's getting cloudy, and I'm going to do a quick process to show you what can be pulled out. This is a very short exposure, but it's untracked, so it's pretty cool to see that it's possible. I'm going to crop and rotate it the other way, or you can leave it the other way, however you want. Okay, I'm going to close SharpCap. Now, background extraction is the first thing we do. Remove the boxes by right-clicking from the nebula and all around the background, leave those boxes in. We're going to remove this greenish cast. As you can see, it's pretty cool. Look how much details we got with an untracked mount. The stars are a little funky, to be honest. We can fix those a bit in processing. I'm gonna do a star net removal and we do a quick process. Okay, so star net done its job. Let's remove the stars. I'm gonna do a basic stretch. I have videos about this on my channel, so if you want to check it out, I will stretch a bit the background. Okay, so we can see the nebula. Put the box somewhere in the faint area of the nebula. Press the eyedropper tool and stretch a bit again. You can do this with a simple histogram stretch, so you don't have to do this if this sounds complicated to you. Linear stretch, I'm gonna bring the black point down. But while not clipping the data, you don't want the background too dark. And gonna do small stretch again. Basically bring the faint part of the nebula. And the more time you leave, the better the image will get. So if you want to do more time, go ahead. But in this case, I couldn't because the clouds are rolling in, so I didn't have any good chance. Okay, it looks pretty good for the data to me. I'm gonna save it. Overwrite the current one. 32-bit. And now we're gonna recombine the stars. Star processing, star recomposition. Bring this layer and bring the starless layer as well. Okay, as you can see, there's a bit of delay. Let's see if we can fix that. I don't think we can do much about it, but we'll try. Basically increasing the symmetry point and black point to try and tighten up the stars. That's why I'm doing this way. But it will work. Obviously, if the stars are good to begin with, it's better. I'm gonna leave it like that because If you go crazy, it gets worse. I'll remove the green noise. Increase a bit the saturation. Darken a bit the background, maybe. And there we go. We got a simple Orion image with an untracked mount. You can do more steps, but I'm going to keep it simple and ending it here. You can do noise reduction and some other processes, but this is just 7 minutes of data. As you can see, you got the faint parts of the nebula out as well. And we got the running one here. The stars could be better. We should have used, I think, uh, either 700 milliseconds exposure, depending on your sensor size. If sensor size of the camera is small, you have to use a smaller exposure. It all depends on the camera you use. So basically that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, give me thumbs up and clear skies.